Hello and welcome, my friends. This is Jennifer from Mystic Star. I want to thank you guys so very much for spending some time with me today and watching my video. This is going to be my weekly group reading for the week of September 27th through to October 3rd. Well, we're creeping into October now, my friends. September brought with it a lot of anxiety, and we're seeing that build up, those worries and those fears. On top of that, we're going to be impacted by the thinning veil in October. So October should be a very interesting time to receive that guidance and then also start to make some shifts and changes in our lives. This week, as we cross over into October, we're going to be focusing in on remaining in that high vibration no matter what energies and what challenges we're being faced with. The decks I chose for this reading, I went with the Shadowscape Tarot and then the Oracle of the Dragonfae. I wanted a gentler, softer image coming in to a month that can be very, trying and somewhat scary for people. The selections I have for this week, of course, we have the Amazonite group, we have the Picturestone group, and then Lapis Lazuli. I want you to choose whichever crystal resonates with you the most right now, and then go into the description box below. I have timestamps there. Click on the correlating timestamp to your crystal. It will take you straight to your reading, and I will see you there. Hello and welcome, my Amazonite friends. This reading is especially for you. Like always, I have the full tarot and oracle decks here, so you get the fullest and most comprehensive reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what the week holds for my Amazonite friends. What can my Amazonite friends expect from the week of September 27th through to October 3rd? Queen Mab, your ancient wisdom is awakening. That insight, that guidance, it's starting to make sense. Pieces and aspects of you that you've been holding on to for quite some time, lifetimes actually, is starting to awaken, starting to emerge, and it's time to nurture and embrace these aspects, these parts of you that haven't had that love and light for generations, for lifetimes. Learning about and understanding you on a deeper connection is what we're looking at for this week. It's a fantastic opportunity to strengthen that most important relationship you will ever have. And that's that relationship with you. Let's look at this week a little bit more. What can my Amazonite friends expect from the beginning of the week? The Page of Swords. Pages are that childlike, innocent energy that's full of play and wonder. That inquisitive mind that helps you understand things in such a deeper and more meaningful way. That sword, that's pure hard truth. That's knowledge and understanding. The beginning of the week, we're given opportunities to start to connect in and understand these emerging aspects, these emerging pieces of you more fully and deeply. We are given opportunities and energies that are going to support us with this connection. The beginning of the week would be a fantastic time to do some self-work, that self-connection, strengthening, and healing. We have that inquisitive, playful mind. We need to use that to our advantage so that we have that better connection and understanding of these aspects and pieces that, well, are going to be so important for you. Let's go on to the middle of the week. What can my Amazonite friends expect from the middle of the week? The Queen of Cups. Now, as queens go, she is fantastically creative, and she's the second most intuitive card in the deck. She is the everyday personification of that High Priestess card. We're going to have those aha moments, especially when we slow down and give ourselves that opportunity to work with these amazing new skills and aspects of self. Reconnecting in and incorporating existing skills, abilities, and talents, and, well, connecting the dots. Allowing these different aspects to meld and work with what you're already working with. That adds that creativity and that understanding of both cards. We need to take those older aspects and bring them forward, dust them off, and give them a modern twist. And it's in that modern twist and, well, individual love and care that's going to really give you that ownership and that connection. Let's go on to the end of the week. What does the end of the week bring? My Amazonite friends. The Page of Wands. You have that knowledge, intuition, and creativity and passion. This page, similar to the cousin here, we're looking at that playful and inquisitive and very creative mind of the Page of Wands. Wands are that inner fire, that creativity and passion that we hold within ourselves. At the end of the week, we are going to see those dots connect. And we're going to be able to utilize these amazing aspects, this wisdom and insight that we've been holding on to and hiding within ourselves, and incorporating it into our lives, into our everyday. Using that inquisitive and, well, explorative mind of the page helps us understand how we individualize those aspects and pieces, and how we can bring them in and utilize them for our greater good. This week holds a lot of creativity and a lot of flexibility within what we're going to do. We have to be able to meld and shape those older aspects with those everyday aspects. That's why we have that knowledge starting off the week. We know what we use, our go-to aspects and pieces. those ones we rely on so heavily. It's time to add in to that repertoire and give you a more full and, well, exciting skill set that is going to really connect in and hit home. Now, obviously, we do have the double page, and in tarot, pages are the 11th card in the minor arcana. And looking at it, it's kind of hard to see. This is the 11th card in the oracle deck. When you have that multiple 11, the angels are telling you that this is a time that you need to connect into that deeper intuition for that guidance and that understanding. It's a fantastic week for you, my Sodalite friends, and these skills and abilities will help you overcome those challenges of 2020 and, well, for those challenges to come forward in the years to come. So let's look at the challenges that you're going to be presented with for this week. What challenge will my Amazonite friends face for the week, September 27th through to October 3rd? The Four of Pentacles. Now, fours in tarot are a foundational number. An oracle as well, of course. But that 4, we're looking at that stability, that groundedness. We've got the 4 of Pentacles, so we have that earthy groundedness. We're looking at feeling unstable and unsure. We're not going to feel totally comfortable with trying to personalize skills and abilities that we don't really know. We haven't used them in lifetimes, let alone try and meld them. We're going to feel really lightheaded and a little spinny because it's a lot of information on that intuitive and spiritual plane. We need to ensure that we are planning ahead and working on that groundedness, whether that be through crystals, visualizations, meditations, essential oils, the list goes on. There's so many ways that we can focus in on that groundedness and ensure that we can embrace the amazing aspects of this week so that we're able to use them for our greater good, to our advantage. The more we focus in on that stability and groundedness, the more we're going to turn that obstacle to an ally. Feeling that connection, feeling secure and stable, opening us up to that intuitive connection, because we've got 3 11s on the table, guys. That deeper intuitional guidance is going to support us in overcoming some of these bigger challenges that loom ahead of us. So it is possible to focus in and work on that groundedness so that we are able to, well, gain more out of this week and turn that obstacle into a much needed ally. Let's look at some more blessings. What blessing can my Amazonite friends embrace for the week of September 27th through to October 3rd? Dreamcatcher, dreaming your wisdom. One of the ways that we can start to incorporate, understand, and connect in to these emerging aspects is through some dream work. asking that high vibrational support team to come in, give us this much needed understanding and guidance on, well, what it is these aspects do and how we can use them, and how we used to use them. Before we go to bed, setting those intentions, asking for that support, and of course, when you're asking for that support, don't forget to ask for that little bit of support at the end to remember key elements and aspects of all that you learned. Many of us don't remember our dreams, or we remember the weirder parts and aspects, and we don't understand how they incorporate into our lives. And what's more, the more you go into your day, the less you remember. Having that extra oomph and guidance and, well, touch of that support system so that you remember, and then of course having that pen and paper right at hand, right at your bedside or on the floor, so that you're able to write down those key pieces, those ideas, those key pieces, elements, and in some cases drawings that we need to get out so that we can remember how and what it is that's going to help us go forward. We have that ability to connect into that support team to help us with this information and then help us remember what we need to remember. I don't suggest using phones. It's too easy for us to mess up. I've had clients and friends who have put long explanations in, their notes, or they describe something through the dictaphone and they've lost it. Technology is too easily impacted by great energies. That pen and paper, not so much. If you find that even your energies impact the flow of a ballpoint pen, go even more old school and grab a pencil. Some of these very tried and very true tools can help us more than what technology can right now. Lady of the New Bud. Nurture tenderness. Like I said, you have emerging aspects that you've been holding on to for lifetimes that are needed again. There is a lot of wisdom that we're holding from those past lifetimes, from those lifetimes of connections and understandings. Many old practices have been lost, and some of those practices are now needed more than ever. And it's through us working with our skills and our abilities that these practices are going to be reinvigorated and remembered. Another amazing tool that you can utilize is Archangel Haniel. She is a fantastic archangel that is connected into the moon, and she's also connected in with helping us to remember those past pieces and elements and practices that will help us, that will encourage us and will make some of these obstacles less challenging. At the end of the week, we have the full hunter moon come in. Be a fantastic time to connect in and gain even more guidance, especially through that dream work. All right, we're going to end off on any further wisdom, insight, and guidance that we can share with my Amazonite friends for the week of September 27th through to October 3rd. The Hermit, the 9th card in the Major Arcana. the major arcana that helps us go inward and guides us to that self-understanding and aspects within ourselves that we need to utilize right now. We need to set those intentions. We need to give ourselves that time and energy. We need to have a better understanding and connection in with us. That's how we're going to understand these emerging aspects and pieces that need our love and our attention right now. The Three of Pentacles. I like to call this card the Triforce Perfecta. You're working with yourself, your physical support team, and of course, that spiritual and astral support team. When you work in tandem and cooperation with each other, that's when amazing miracles happen. Things come together and it's like they fall into place. It's fantastic. We're really good at working with that physical support team. We struggle with that astral and spiritual support team. They're harder to hear and harder to connect in with because those skills, they're not as sharp as we'd hope they'd be. Again, another aspect that can take some time and energy. Shedding light and working with it in different ways, like through dream work, so you have little resistance. Our ego starts to scream when we're trying to work with our clairs and connect into those higher vibrational beings. During dream work, your ego is at rest. It can't stop you from that connection and, well, that guidance. The Seven of Wands. Sevens can be a challenging number in tarot and oracle. However, because you are looking at that lucky number 7, you are looking at being successful when you start to put your back into it and do the work. That wand, again, we're back to that passion center, that courage and that determination. Allowing that fire to fuel you and push you forward. The Seven of Wands talks about not backing down. Doesn't matter what challenges you're going to face, you're not going to back down. You're using that drive, that willpower, your convictions to stand up and fight for what you believe in. Because like I said, your ego is going to start to scream and it's not going to want to let go. It doesn't want you to use emerging aspects and abilities because that leads to further growth and development. Your ego wants to keep you very contained and in its mind very safe. This week brings in some new and some exciting abilities and connections. It's going to cause your ego to get very upset and start to scream and tantrum like a toddler. We're going to need that courage, that determination to douse your ego and listen to that very quiet voice within yourself. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching this video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful and you're able to gain some insight and direction into what the week is going to offer you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for the latest content. There is so much more amazing coming your way, my friends. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this amazing insight and healing is to subscribe to my channel and hit that little red bell so you don't miss a video. Also, if you enjoyed this video and want to support me in making more, I have a Patreon page. And I know lots of people have Patreon pages. And of course, my Patreon page has lots of tiers and perks. And those perks, you're looking at readings and healings from me. Also, I have a library of Patreon exclusive videos. I really love supporting those who support me most. I provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out? Until tomorrow, my Amazonite friends. Hello and welcome, my Picturestone friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full decks of both the Tarot and the Oracle, so you get the most comprehensive and meaningful reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what the week holds for my Picturestone friends. What can my Picturestone friends expect from the week of September 27th through to October 3rd? Chamara, Web of Life. We are all connected and we're all related in some way. That connection is what we're going to be looking at this week. My Picturestone friends, it's going to be imperative that we look at those connections and ensure that they are for our greater good. That we don't have connections just for connection's sake. Many of us have relationships and friendships that aren't serving us. They are there because they've been there for so long. It's time to look at those connections and start to take back some of our power and start to disconnect a bit. It's essential that we are all connected to that universal source. And that may be the only connection you need with them. We don't need those cross connections or tethers. There are people and individuals that thrive on people's energies, and they start to suck out that energy, causing us to feel unwell, causing us to, feel tired and overburdened, overwhelmed. This week, we're looking at those connections, looking at strengthening those positive connections, and then maybe disconnecting a bit from those people who are sucking us dry, who are taking from us and not, reciprocating and giving at the same time. Let's look at this week a little bit more for you, my Picturestone friends. What can my Picturestone friends expect from the beginning of the week? The Empress. Such a beautiful card. Like I said, there are relationships that we have that are fulfilling. They are connected in, they're giving. It's a balanced relationship. We give, we receive. They're supportive and want for our greater good. We need to start this week off on a high. We need to connect in, nurture those relationships. Thank them for all they've done for you. Show them the appreciation that they so deserve. Strengthening those relationships will help us not only overcome those weekly challenges or individual challenges, but some of these bigger collective challenges as well. The beginning of the week, we are looking at that connection and really nurturing and allowing those ones to grow, to strengthen, and to continue being that positive support for you. go on to the middle of the week. What does the middle of the week hold for my Picturestone friends? The Five of Swords. Middle of the week, we're looking at those relationships. And we don't need to look at every relationship. It's those relationships we know are a bit more toxic. Those are the ones that need to be released. This isn't looking at and reflecting on every relationship and connection we have. That can take years. We know many people. We're connected in on varying degrees with lots of people. These relationships are the ones that we have those stronger cross connections. Similar to that, like the spider web, you have that connection into the center, but you also have those beautiful connections out. We're looking at those stronger ones, those bigger ones. And these relationships, you know, it's like you see the card and you're like, oh, it's this person. You know who they are, because when you connect in with them, you feel gross, you feel depleted, you feel beat up and lesser than. They don't see your strengths. They don't focus in on that positive. They don't encourage you forward. Those are the relationships that we need to start to release ourselves from. I know it sounds crazy, but yes, we have energetic connections to everything, people, places, and everywhere. These aggressive, conflictual relationships, they're the ones that are sucking us dry. They're the ones that make us feel gross. They make us feel tired. They make us feel physically unwell. One of the easiest ways to sever that connection is through Archangel Michael. Ask him to sever those connections that are taking from you, that are making you feel unwell. In the same breath, then ask Archangel Raphael to heal you in those spaces, and then take that time to further go on into your healing, helping you to strengthen you and replenish and love you. Now, do not be surprised if those individuals that we disconnect from, don't try and reconnect. They had a sudden urge to call you. They wanted to stop by. They needed to connect in with you. That connection and reach out is enough to reestablish that tether, that vice that's going to suck you dry. You need to be mindful of those reconnections. And I know that there are people in our lives that we can't just walk away from because we are connected on many different levels. We can still cut those tethers. If it happens to be an ex or someone in your family that is very low vibrational and very conflictual, after you have to deal with them or you connect in with them, automatically go in and say, Michael, please cut that. Archangel Raphael, can you please heal me from this? That in itself will help you to ensure that your energy isn't being depleted and decreased. You're being mindful of those connections. Knowing these little tricks will help you. You can also use energetic protections, visualizations, sprays, and I do want to say that being in this field, I have been in connection with people who have sprays that tell me that they are going to protect, and they're little more than just floral water. You need someone with that strength to shed that protection and that energy into that spray to support you. So be mindful of the sprays. You can ask the high vibrational beings, crystals. There's a lot of different ways that you can put that protection around you and those you need. Pets, children, the elderly, they may not be able to do it on their own behalf. Let's go on to the end of the week. What does the end of the week bring my Picturestone friends? The Nine of Swords. Now, depending on what happens in the middle of the week will depend on where that Nine of Swords goes. You're walking a fine line, my Picturestone friends. You're walking that edge of the blade, if you will. In one side, you're going to have that very depressive and anxious energy. On the other, you're going to have that high vibrational energy, the energy of the Empress. It can fall either way. It's up to you and your decisions and how you approach this week. The end of the week is going to be that crescendo. Which way do you fall? You can't stay on the middle of the sword. That blade will cut you. An indecision is a decision in itself that will have a tendency to go towards that aggression and that depression and anxiety. We need to be that active participant that makes those decisions and sets those intentions. Action will help you move past and get untangled from individuals that are taking from you. All right, let's look at the challenge. I know that the decision in itself isn't the challenge. There's more. There always is. This is the week at a glance. Let's look at that challenge. What challenge will my Picturestone friends face for the week of September 27th through to October 3rd? The Ten of Swords. It's fascinating the past experiences that we have. We've all lived through a great deal. We will all overcome enormous obstacles. Some of those things sit heavy with us. We have people and situations that we have those tethers to. There are lots of people in our lives that we're looking at that support. We have others that aren't so supportive and continue to push those swords deep within us, keeping us anchored. We also have situations where we're connected into some people that aren't there for our greater good, but we can't walk away from them. Whether they be in our family, they're connected through children, or what have you. We have to overcome and stand up to some of this pain that's causing stagnation, causing that fear, and embrace more positive, coping mechanisms, putting those protections in place, ensuring that energetically they can't hurt you anymore. And if they're hurting you physically, seeking that support that will help you out of those situations. We're not alone. We were never meant to do this alone. We need to reach out to those supports that are there for us and want to see us succeed and are there for that positive. It's going to help us. But those past pains, experiences, they're gonna come up. We need to stay strong. We need to use that courage, that willpower, and our creativity to overcome and shed light and love in aspects of self that we haven't. Like I said in the middle of the week, we need to take that time to love ourselves a little bit, to heal, so that we're able to, well, move forward and heal even greater aspects of ourselves. Let's go on to some blessings. What blessing can my Picturestone friends embrace for the week of September 27th through to October 3rd? I love this card. Wu Wang. So much fun to say. Wild, pure heart. Those past experiences are going to hold us back. But when we embrace that true heart center with that light, that love, and most importantly, that fun and passion, we start to add light to these darker areas. We're able to heal and we're able to overcome some of those challenges that we're afraid to tackle, using our inner abilities and skills that make us us, that help us to overcome those challenges that can be, well, very challenging. The Wild Huntress. Face your shadow. We need that wild, playful heart to help shed that light and give us that strength to go to those scary places. We've got a lot of swords here. That truth, that knowledge, it's important. We need to be mindful of that fear and that heartache and how it's going to try and slow us down. Going to those darker spaces, shedding that light, that love, will help us to lessen its toxicity. Additionally, we can ask that support team for help, whether it be on the physical plane or on that spiritual plane. We're not doing this journey alone, and we don't have to take on these harder aspects by ourselves. We can ask for the support we need, and even if we don't know what support we need, just reaching out and saying, I'm really struggling here, I don't know how to go forward. That support team, they're pretty creative. I'm sure they can support you in finding a unique and very you way of dealing with this. We're going to end off on any final insight, wisdom, and guidance that we can share with my Picturestone friends for the week of September 27th through to October 3rd. Oops. The Ten of Pentacles. Like I just said, that support system, it's there for us. It's up to us to use our words and ask for that help. Additionally, we have the Ten of Pentacles here. That grounding support will also help us. Help us strengthen that protection and help strengthen that stability we're going to need to disconnect and, well, work on that healing of us. The Knight of Wands. Not surprising to see him that courage, that determination, we're going to need it. We need that inner fire to light up these darker areas and take on that shadow. Fortunately, we have that knight, that adolescent no fear energy as an ally, giving us strength and really kindling that inner fire, allowing it to burn bright and strong, and allowing it to, well, brighten up and give you that direction. Be that light on a path that can get very dark very quickly. The Four of Wands. Now, fours, they're a foundational number. It reinforces that stability that we're going to need. This week is a challenging week for you guys. We're looking at taking on pieces and aspects that can be pretty scary. Yet, when we do, we're able to embrace some amazing new opportunities. And you're going to find that as you take on this darkness and you embrace this light, that we really activate that rite of passage that the Four of Wands holds. We're starting to strengthen and raise our vibration, resisting that depletion that some of these individuals in our lives have been, well, partaking in. We're able to pass through that gateway, that rite of passage of the Four of Wands, and go on to that next chapter. The Four of Wands celebrates all that you've, overcome, all that we've lived through. And what's more, this amazing decision and action to strengthen and, well, love you. That in itself helps you to raise that vibration and truly step through that threshold. That raising that vibration activates that Empress even more, allowing for further abundances and growth for you. This week may be challenging, however, when you accept that challenge, you get on your horse or your weird kind of lioness type thing, I don't know. It's really cool though. You can get on them and get going. That decision, that action is going to be amazing for you. I want to thank you guys so very much for spending some time with me today and watching this video. I hope that you found it fun and helpful and that you're able to gain some insight and direction into what the week holds for you. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There is so much more amazing coming your way, my friends. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this insight and healing is to subscribe to my channel and hit that little red bell so you don't miss a video. Also, if you enjoyed this video and want to support me in making more, I have a Patreon page. And I know lots of people have Patreon pages. And just like lots of other people, I've got lots of tiers and perks. And of course, my perks, you're looking at free readings and healings. I also offer my Patreon supporters an exclusive library of videos just for them. I like to support those who support me. I've provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out. Until tomorrow, my Picturestone friends. Hello and welcome, my Lapis Lazuli friends. This reading is especially for you. Now, like always, I have the full tarot and oracle decks here, so you get the most comprehensive and meaningful reading for you. Without further ado, let's see what the week holds for my Lapis Lazuli friends. What can my Lapis Lazuli friends expect from the week of September 27th through to October 3rd? The elder, heed wise counsel. Well, I've been saying for a long time that the high vibrational beings, they have much to share with us. And this week, my Lapis Lazuli friends, you're going to find out just how much. Those messages, they'll be hidden in plain sight. Those symbols, and you're going to find that serendipity, deja vu, repeat, repeat, repeat. That familiarity, and in some cases, you're going to find that that ring in your ears, it's really annoying. That serendipity, deja vu, repeated, and somewhat in a revolving door of situations and events. Those pieces that just there's no way to explain. They're going to come up repeatedly for you. And some of us are going to have that ringing in that ear that comes and goes. It may just be in one ear or both, and it gets really annoying really fast, and in some cases can really blast us off our seats. There's much to be shared this week, and it's going to be up to you guys to slow down and start to interpret these situations, these events, these messages. With the ringing of the ears, you can ask to turn things down. I know it can get really annoying and can be headache provoking, especially if they're sharing a lot. If they're downloading information, which is pretty much them opening your crown chakra and dumping the information in, it can be overwhelming. Ask them to reduce it, that it's too much and you're not understanding it. You can also ask them to try and give you that information in other ways or while you're sleeping, so it's not so overwhelming. Let's look at this week a little bit more for you. What does the beginning of the week bring, my Lapis Lazuli friends? The Five of Swords. Fives in tarot are always that kind of confrontational, conflicting number. That resistance, your ego, is not going to be happy about this information and this guidance that's going to be shared with you. It's going to resist and scream and tantrum, causing even more of a headache and pressure. Again, you can ask those high vibrational beings to give you a break, to reduce the amount of information they're trying to share, or to share it in another way. That ego screaming and that headache and tension, you can't ask your ego. It won't comply. It doesn't understand you. Taking those strides to ask for the support that you need, giving yourself breaks, and taking care of you will help with the tantruming toddler of an ego that you're going to have to deal with. Meditation to try and rebalance those hemispheres of your brain so you're not feeling so topsy-turvy can help. I did a meditation with Archangel Jophiel a number of weeks ago, and it was to feng shui and calm that inner whirlwind. The beginning of the week, it's a good recommendation to do something like that. It's going to take care of that inner conflict. Help to appease and lessen your ego while opening you up in a productive way to the information that obviously needs to be shared with you. And on to the middle of the week. What does the middle of the week bring, my Lapis Lazuli friends? The Four of Swords. That rest, that much needed recuperation from the chaos, the download, it's gonna come in. That slowing down and being observant. Taking that pause and gathering that knowledge. Like I said, we need to take care of ourselves during this period. The more we're able to embrace this nurturing energy, the more we're going to understand those messages and that guidance that's being shared with you. Just like when you meditate, which is another way to care for yourself. You're opening yourself up and embracing that knowledge, embracing what's being shared with you. Resistance causes a lot of that pain, those headaches, that built up tension, those overwhelming feelings. When we rest, we take that deep breath, we meditate, we're at a space of calm. We're more open to those messages, to that insight. And that's very much what the Four of Swords wants to share with you. That calm, that peace, that rejuvenation, and most importantly, being open to what is going to be shared. Now, you have the Five of Swords and the Four of Swords. The beginning and middle part of the week, you want to be focusing in and functioning from that brain center rather than your heart center. Your ego is going to be playing in and running havoc in that heart center. We need to use those critical thinking skills. We need to make that assessment and make those choices based on knowledge rather than emotion. It's in that knowledge that we're going to find the wisdom and direction we need, both in what needs to be shared with us and then also to overcome our ego. Our ego cannot compete with critical thinking and true assessment skills. Both are fantastic tools in overcoming any challenge that we're facing. That assessment and thinking things through rather than reacting are skills that can be really challenging to learn, but once you've learned them, they are an amazing asset to overcome that challenge. Let's go on to the final part of the week. What does the latter part of the week bring? My Lapis Lazuli friends. Yes, it does. The Sun. What a beautiful card to end your week off. The 19th card in the Major Arcana, and it talks about those hopes, that love, that light, and that breakthrough. We see that growth, and we start to see things align for us. When the sun comes out, we feel warm and we feel fuzzy inside, and it makes us smile. The same is true with the sun in the tarot deck. It brings that warmth and love to you and to this challenge that we're facing. You have the ability to overcome your ego and gain the knowledge that's going to help you forward. And not only overcoming individual challenges, but those bigger collective and global challenges as well. And let's look at that challenge, because what's on the table here is the week rather than your collective challenge for this week. So let's look at this challenge, shall we? What challenge will my Lapis Lazuli friends face for the week of September 27th through to October 3rd? That's the World. the 21st card in the Major Arcana, known as the Dancer. It talks about that ending and the beginnings. This very much is a chapter changer for you. The guidance and the wisdom that the Council of the High Vibrational Beings want to share with you is, well, very much a game changer. It brings in missing pieces and aspects that's going to help you forward. And it's very much in this fear and uncertainty of what is to come that's going to hold us back. Our ego will play into that and will play up on it. However, it's even in that critical thinking that we start to get worried. There's lots of unknowns. And anytime you're looking at new and different, well, that's when we ourselves start to recoil. We become uncertain. We're not able to hold to our convictions as well. So part of the challenge, of course, this week will be that ego. And another aspect is going to be that resistance to change, that uncertainty, and, well, that new. And of course, it's all amplified by the anxiety and heartache that our ego likes to throw in. Let's go on to some blessings. What blessing can my Lapis Lazuli friends embrace for the week of September 27th through to October 3rd? The lovers at the feast. Conscious, aware eating. It sounds like a bizarre card to get, but it makes a lot of sense. Because when we get stressed, we get to that point of unknown, most of us comfort eat. This isn't a time to gorge ourselves. This is a time to be very aware and, like I said, very critical and mindful of what it is we're doing. When we start to put junk and alcohol and drugs into our system, we become disconnected. The aspirin and other pharmaceuticals that we may try and jump into when those headaches come in can lessen that information and guidance that's being shared. We're not in full faculty of what's happening. That's why I said that meditation, to calm your brain. Trying alternative measures to coping with headache and discomfort. Then, if things continue to persist and it's really overwhelming, it's still there as a step. But being aware of that. And there have been times during large downloads that I have said that if things can't ease up, that I am going to have to take a painkiller because it's too much. And there are times that they have encouraged me to carry on, and there are times that I have had to take that pharmaceutical. Trying alternative means first and being very mindful of what it is you're doing. And I always encourage people, when you've got that ringing and things are really feeling kind of overwhelming, to put it out there and say, hey, this is getting really too much. Can someone help me and reduce this? We're never alone. Our guardian angel's always there. Our guides are primarily there. And if things are really harsh, we can bring in and ask Archangel Raphael to reduce that pain and send us some healing our way. So being mindful, using our words, and looking at alternatives globally before just jumping to what is socially acceptable. We need to have that clear mind to receive this information. Oh, I love this card. Wu Wang. Such a fun word. I love that. Wild, pure heart. This information, this guidance, it's going to help connect a lot of dots. It's going to get you back to that you space, that space of authenticity. And it's through this authenticity that you're going to be able to embrace that next chapter. No matter how much we resist the world, this next chapter is coming. The more we embrace it, the more we turn it right side up, and it becomes a support rather than a challenge. We have to continue to evolve and move forward, learning and experiencing, or else the tower comes in and zaps us. And we'll shake things up until we move forward. Using and connecting into this authenticity will help you embrace this next stage, gaining more fulfillment, and we always love this, more abundance. And yes, part of that abundance would be financial. All right. So we're going to end off on any further guidance and wisdom that we can share with my Lapis Lazuli friends for the week of September 27th through to the 3rd. The Eight of Cups. Not surprising to see this card. That connection and awareness in that inner journey. Really connects to our Wu Wang of that very authentic state that has a lot of passion, a lot of, well, you. That inner journey is going to be taken, and it's going to have an amazing support and guide as the high vibrational beings are counseling you and supporting you in this, so you're able to embrace that sun even more. The Ten of Swords. That reminder that we can't allow past experiences to slow us down. Those experiences that weigh heavy on our heart. That every time we try and do something new and embrace that guidance, and mostly embrace that sun and that joy that our ego likes to bring forward. Those experiences we will heal. Not this week, but eventually we will be able to lessen those swords, taking more control over that ego-centered mindset, releasing those tethers and nooses that your ego has around you, so you're able to embrace that higher vibrational support, that higher vibrational self. This week we have to be mindful that we're not getting caught up and stuck in past experiences of when we embraced change, when we embraced new and exciting. This week perspective will make a big difference. If we're coming from a perspective of fear and heartache, that you're trying to cocoon yourself, embrace for upcoming new, that resistance is going to bring with it more pain, driving those swords in deeper. If we embrace it from a space of love and light, of excitement and anticipation, that change is going to bring in those opportunities that we can't even fathom right now because we're so caught up in that lower vibrational space. And then finally, the Seven of Swords. Well, you guys really have a sword-tastic reading, don't you? Of course, the sevens, they're a challenge number. Nowhere compared to what the 5 is. Whereas the sevens are a bit of a challenge, they're a lucky number. Sevens with some work, you're looking at becoming victorious. The Seven of Swords, we're again back into that knowledge. The Seven of Swords talks about getting away with too much. Another way our ego is going to try and protect you and itself is through puffing itself up and inflating what it is you can and cannot do. Your ego will try and jump steps so that we miss out and we stumble. This week we do need to have that very slow, steady progression so that we are truly understanding all that we can do, and we're open to other ways of doing it with some guidance of pieces and aspects of ourselves that we have forgotten. Like I said, that authenticity is an essential part of this week. Understanding what we can truly do. When we get to the heart of the matter, when we function from the truth, rather than that instability of false and fluffy, of what our ego likes to push out, we are more able to seek out those opportunities because they're there for us. When we're honest with ourselves, we're raising our vibration. Honesty is a high vibrational attribute. Being honest and, well, nurturing and loving you for wherever you are on this journey. We have to be mindful that we're not overcritical or judging ourselves and comparing ourselves to others. This is our journey, and we're in differing stages of our journey. Being honest with ourselves, nurturing ourselves, and loving us for where we are, and truly admiring and celebrating this dedication to self and furthering you on your journey. That's going to help you really embrace this information and the sun. I want to thank you guys so very much for joining me today and watching this video. I hope that you found this video fun and helpful, and that you're able to gain some insight and guidance into what the week holds for you. If you like this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There is so much more amazing coming your way. The best way to stay connected so you don't miss out on any of this insight and healing is to subscribe to my channel and hit that little red bell so you don't miss a video. Also, if you enjoyed this video and want to support me in making more, I have a Patreon page with many tiers and lots of perks. And of course, those tiers, they're free readings and healings from me. Additionally, I also have a Patreon exclusive library of videos. I want to support those who support me. I've provided a helpful link below, so why not go check it out. Until tomorrow, my Lapis Lazuli friends.